We like to think of air travel as safe, incredibly safe even, and for good reason. Statistically, it's far safer than driving, but something is amiss. Since January 2nd, 2025, we've seen a shocking number of fatal aviation accidents. 34 to be precise, that's one every 3 days, each tragedy a gut punch. Each one leaving families shattered and investigators searching for answers. The NTSB, bless their hearts, are swamped. They're meticulously combing through wreckage, flight data and cockpit recordings. But what if the answers they seek aren't in the mangled metal or garbled recordings? What if the cause of these crashes is invisible, insidious and deliberately malicious? It might sound like something out of a Tom Clancy novel, but bear with me. What if these crashes are not accidents at all, but the result of sophisticated cyber attacks? I know, it sounds far-fetched. But before you dismiss it as the ramblings of a late-night comedian with too much time on his hands, consider this. Our modern world runs on code. And that code, my friends, is riddled with vulnerabilities. Aviation is no exception. In fact, the very systems that make modern air travel so safe, GPS, ADSB, you name it, could be our Achilles heel. Think about it. GPS tells planes where they are and where they're going. ADSB broadcasts their position to other aircraft and air traffic control. These systems are the backbone of modern aviation. But what if that backbone could be hacked? What if someone, somewhere, could feed false information to these systems, sending planes careening off course or into each other? It's not as crazy as it sounds. GPS signals are notoriously easy to jam or spoof. In 2024, suspected GPS spoofing forced Finnair to suspend flights to Tartu, Estonia. Planes were literally flying blind. And ADSB, well, it's basically a big open invitation for mischief. It's unencrypted and unauthenticated, meaning anyone with the right tools can inject false data into the system. Imagine ghost planes appearing out of thin air on air traffic control screens, or worse, real planes being fed false information about their altitude or position. It would be chaos, and it might already be happening. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying that every recent aviation accident is the result of a cyber attack, but even if a small percentage of these tragedies can be traced back to malicious hacking, it's a terrifying thought, and it's a thought that should keep investigators up at night. Let's talk about a specific incident. Remember that Black Hawk helicopter that collided with a jet in Washington, D.C.? The one flying at 300 feet when it should have been below 200. Now, there's no direct evidence of hacking in that case, but it does highlight the potential for disaster when systems fail or are compromised. Could the helicopter's altimeter have been malfunctioning? Could its communication systems have been jammed, preventing the pilots from receiving crucial altitude warnings? We need answers, and that's just one incident. We need to be asking these questions about every single one of these recent crashes. Were there any anomalies in the plane's navigation systems? Any unusual activity in the moments leading up to the crash? Any signs of tampering or hacking? These are questions that demand answers. This isn't about pointing fingers or spreading fear. It's about acknowledging a very real threat and demanding a thorough investigation. The NTSB is doing its best, I'm sure of it, but they need to be empowered to investigate every possible angle, including the possibility of cyber attacks. That means examining the plane's black boxes for malware, scrutinizing Wi-Fi logs, and consulting with cybersecurity experts. It's time to shine a light on this potential threat and take it seriously, because if we don't, we could be looking at a future where the skies are no longer friendly but a battleground in a new kind of war. And that's a future none of us want to see.